This is Dr. Amanda with StraightSmileSolutions.com. I wanted to touch base with you a little bit with some tips and tricks for ideal, ClearCorrect, Invisalign, and just basic clear aligner ideal outcomes. I have tons of tricks and tips and pearls that I've kind of collected over my last 18 years in the industry, and I want to share them with you. So I did write a blog post if you'd like to read it. You can go to our website, StraightSmileSolutions.com, and click Read Our Blog, and it's written there. If you have any questions, I'm going to go through these at a really high level, but if you have any questions, please do go to our website, click Contact Us. When you click Contact Us, there's an opportunity to schedule a free telephone conversation. Happy to answer any questions. You can click on this, and when you click on this, it's going to take you to a scheduling app where you can go ahead and pick a great time and schedule a call at your convenience. So anyways, let's go ahead and go back to the blog. I'm going to show you where it is, and we're going to go through it line by line real quick. Let's go back to the home page. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Read our blog. And this is the most recent blog, if you're checking it sometime in November 2019. I do update them quite often, so there's lots of stuff there. Okay, so real quick, I'm giving you 10 tricks and tips. I'm going to go through them super fast, so if you want more clarification, you can definitely check out all of our other YouTube videos, blog posts, or connect to make a phone call. So real quick, let's go over attachments. People get really confused about attachments. Look, attachments are just something to make the aligners quicker and more efficient. You don't always need them. Like I said, there's a huge DTC industry that's proved that 1 million cases have been done without attachments, and a lot of them are pretty incredible. So it just makes things go faster, more efficient, and you use less trays. So if you can have an in-office visit, I would have it. Okay, it's just more predictable. IPR, don't freak out about IPR. IPR is a great tool, and I always use IPR in perio cases, attachment loss cases. That's why I love panos. So I don't want to be pushing teeth through the buccal plate, and if they're teeth without attachment loss, they can get pushed. So that's why I love IPR. Of course, it's also great in Bolton's discrepancies or tooth size discrepancies, and often you don't know there is one if it's minor until you see the setup. So don't be afraid about IPR. Trim, straight line trim, scallop trim, whatever, personal preference. Straight line trim has less retention, so you're going to need more attachments. That takes you back up to number one. Can't have it all, right? Also depends on the flexibility of your material. A more flexible material is going to need more attachments, and a higher trim line is probably a good idea. Scallop trim is nice and hygienic. A lot of patients hate it though, because it's more visible. So especially if you have a high smile line. So these are just things that if your patient has concerns, you may want to bring it up. A lot of patients don't care. But I do strongly suggest if you're going to do a higher trim line that you consider a scan and not an impression so that you get a really accurate fit. So you don't have to be trimming it down. Never ever do single arch treatment. Never. Don't do it. And if you are going to do it, I would say 9 times out of 10, you're going to regret it. But if you are going to do it, I mean, there's an occasional one-off where you have to do it. And that's like, patient has like 6 implants in an arch or only has 3 teeth. Well, then who cares if the bite is off, right? But if that's not the case, you need to do it because the bite is going to get super whacked out if you don't. It just will. And a lot of times patients think that you need to do single arch treatment because they want to save money, but it always ends up taking longer. It always ends up meaning more aligners, and you're always going to, I'm going to say always because 9 times out of 10, you're going to regret that you did this. So just don't do it. Just explain the why to the patient. Always capture your terminal molar fully on your impression or scan. If you have third molars, you need to capture them. Okay? Invisalign ClearCorrect technicians don't know, and that's not their job. So it's your job to capture all the teeth that are present. Yes, in theory, you can capture just half, and it's enough to keep it from extruding and whacking out the bite. But if it's a case where you're changing AP, which is anterior-posterior position of the bite, like overbite, underbite kind of thing, or if it's a case where you're changing vertical, where you're intruding or extruding, or if it's a case where you're closing spaces and you're having to consolidate the space, you have to capture the last molar or that tooth won't move and you're going to have a crazy, again, whacked out bite. So that's why you have to capture it. So again, it's another argument for why buy an intraoral scanner. You need it. If you're going to make aligners a big thing in your office, and if you're going to take the time to train your team, set up operations, do it, you might as well do it right because your accuracy is just going to be way better. The cases are going to turn out better, happier outcomes, quicker, easier, happier patients, happier staff, And you can use it for a million other things. And it saves you money in the long run. And there's a lot of companies that are leasing financing for $500 a month. This is a no-brainer to me. So if you need recommendations, feel free to contact us. Okay, so again, just going back. Let's go back. Got so much information here. The most overlooked key to success is tracking. And that's something that just cracks me up when people have no idea what tracking is. They just like throw a bunch of aligners at their patient and they're like, bye, see you in 3 weeks, because that's what Invisalign told me to do. So I guarantee you, and you might have a really great patient that just is super compliant, and that's super awesome. But for every one of those you have, you're gonna have 2 that aren't. They don't understand the why behind it. If you don't understand the why behind it, they're not going to understand the why behind it. So you have to explain that. So basically, this is my verbiage for this. And I've put it in a ton of videos, so please do look at it. But basically, look, they say Invisalign says 1 week wear, ClearCorrect says 2 week wear, some other ones are 10-day wear, whatever. That's just an arbitrative number. It's just based on averages and average wear and average treatment plans. Some patients are going to go faster, some patients are going to go slower. There's no way to know, okay? So the verbiage I give patients is, on average, a tray is worn X amount. I want you for the first 3 weeks to aim to wear it at least X amount. So X amount is 7 days for Invisalign, 14 days for ClearCorrect. And if you're doing white label aligners, it's depending on what the recommended wear is. It depends on the material that you're using. So talk to the design company. But in any case, you tell them to wear at least a minimum that amount. But the key is when they switch, say, from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3, they should do it on the same time, the same day, the same week. And when they put the new aligner in, if the aligner doesn't fit 100% snug to every single tooth, top and bottom, and I mean every single tooth, then they need to get their chewies and work on that area or those areas. They get 2 to 3 days to get the aligner to fully 100% seat. That doesn't mean 99% seat. That means 100% seat. No air bubbles, no microscopic air bubbles, no nothing. If they can't get it to fully seat within 72 hours after switching and using chewies at least 3 to 4 times a day to help engage the undercuts and get the tracking better, then they need to go back to the previous aligner, wear it another week, and try again the next week. So when I say you're wearing it a minimum for the recommended time, that's minimum. After that, you might need to wear it more. And it might be one week, you might have to wear it 2 weeks. 1 week, you might have to wear it 3 weeks. 1 week, you might be able to wear it less. But at the very least, that is the tip and trick. They need to give you, if they try the other week and they try again and they still can't get it to fit and track, they need to give you a call. Come on in, stay in the old aligner, don't progress. That's the key. If your patient does that, you can't go wrong. You will get the outcome that you're supposed to get, and you'll get it on the first shot. It's awesome, right? You know, it's like having a perfect game of bowling, exactly what you're supposed to do. You know, it just happened the way it's supposed to happen perfectly, and that will happen. But that is the tips that you need to give your patients, and you need to give them the resources because they may not fully understand. So one of my favorite, you can use dental monitoring systems, or gporthotracking.com is a way cheaper option that was invented by dentists. Pretty sweet way for them to check in weekly, because you know what? When there's an accountability loop with your patient, things track. When nobody's looking over the shoulder, things don't track for the most part. So that is the beauty of it. Plus, if you can have your patient checking in with you virtually, at least 3 out of the 4 weeks or 5 out of the 6 weeks, then you're also amassing a really cool HIPAA compliant batch of AI. That means you're batching AI from your patients that you can later use if you get a social media release or a photo release. You can use this to create content, and content is power. You can make for $5, you can take that content, upload it into Fiverr or one of these things, and have them make a cool flipbook video that you can put on Instagram. If you throw one of those cool AI flipbook videos on Instagram, free. This is totally free. And if you don't know how to do that, I can teach you. Instagram is free. Of course, you have to build your following and build your network, but that takes 5 minutes a day, or you can outsource it to somebody. If you have a finished case or even an in-progress case, it doesn't have to be done, and you're just showing every week how they're checking in and making one of those cool videos like flipbook videos or transformative videos or just progress videos, you will probably, no joke, assuming you have followers and you're growing it, you'll probably get 5 patients for every one of these you post. I mean, pretty incredible. So I mean, talk about free marketing. It always cracks me up when people spending all this money on mailers and value packs when you can do all this stuff just for showing how awesome you are and what great work you already do. So why be paying for this type of stuff? Anyways, that is my hack for you. But yeah, beautiful. For gporthotracking.com for $99 a month, you can get some pretty awesome information that you can use on unlimited patients. So I recommend it. And I have tips for this on my YouTube site if you go there. Anyways, another hack is to have the patient save all their old aligners. So I have another video about this. You can go to it. Invest $5 in a cheap tackle box. That's like, it was $5 for one on Amazon. I think it was like $4.99 with 15 compartments, and label it 1 through 15. I don't like the patients to put it back in the baggies, because they get moldy. And once they get moldy, you can't wear them again. You need to save all your old aligners, because this is basically a free mid-course correction or a free refinement. Assuming that your treatment plan was good to begin with, and that's something we help people with. If you have a good treatment plan to begin with and a good patient, and they're saving the old aligners, you shouldn't need any revisions, refinements, or mid-course corrections, because you already have it ready to go, and then they can just go back and find, I'm totally digressing, but there should be no reason, if they're tracking and you're checking in with them, that you shouldn't even have to do this. But this is just another insurance policy. If the patient saves all their own aligners in like an airy box, and it's labeled and it's organized and brings it with them to every appointment, you'll never need to do any of that stuff. Second insurance policy, pretty cool. Anyways, number 8, less is more. So Invisalign moves 0.25 millimeters per aligner, ClearCorrect moves 0.3 millimeters per aligner, but no one says you have to do that. You can do whatever you want. So, and this is my hack that in theory, I'm sure Invisalign hates it and ClearCorrect hates it, and they probably see my patients doing it, and they see my doctors doing it, and I instruct tons of people to do this. It's just free information. But ultimately, by stretching out the treatment plan, so let's say they tell you so for ClearCorrect, let's say on average, whatever they tell me, I pretty much multiply it by 2 to 3. If they tell me 15 aligners, they need 40. So because their treatment plans are way aggressive. Matter of fact, 9 times out of 10, I don't think it's even possible what they come up with. It blows my mind. And if it's possible, it's 100% not healthy. So sorry, ClearCorrect, but your treatment plans are bad for the most part. But you can make them good. It's a tool. So just because they give you something on the first go doesn't mean you have to use it. It's a great tool, and the product works. You just have to know how to use the tool. So that's one of my hacks. Take what they tell you to do and just slow it the heck down. Slow it the heck down so that the increments are way smaller. If the increments are way smaller, it's more likely to track. And guess what? If you have one of those awesome patients and they're telling you, you're telling me to wear these 2 weeks, and you're telling me, and I never get any of these air bubble issues, and everything's always fitting, that's probably because you slowed it down. It's feeling really, really loose at about day 6 or day 7. Can I switch these more frequently? Heck yeah, you can. Because guess what? You actually by doubling the length of the treatment plan and slowing it down, you actually turned a 14-day tray into a 7-day change tray for a ClearCorrect, and you've taken a 7-day and turned it into a 3 to 4 day for Invisalign. So we're not going to tell the patients we're doing that, because we're going to kind of see how they're doing. But now if you do that, you look like an awesome hero, and you make your patient feel super proud that they're doing such a great job, even if they're not. That's just a great hack, and if you're doing unlimited or comprehensive, it doesn't cost you anything more to do this. This is just a no-brainer for me, because smaller steps mean more success. Yes, maybe it costs them a little bit more in overhead, but right now, they don't stop you from doing that. So it's a tool for me. And honestly, when we do this, we don't have revisions, refinements, or mid-course corrections, which saves on plastic. So either way, it comes out to the same amount of trays, but just less time for you and less frustration for you and your team and for the patient. So, and you know what? To the patient, when they're posting on all these websites and Real Self, and they're posting in these forums, Invisalign forums, about how it's going, and they're saying, oh, my doctor's done 2 revisions, refinements, mid-course corrections. Why can't this go right? And this other patient saying, my doctor nailed it first try. I had no problems. Guess who's going to get patients? You are, not the other one. And guess what? You could have had the exact same treatment plan. And maybe the other doctor is even more experienced, but just by you slowing it down, you're going to have more success. And more success means happier patients, more referrals, right? Okay, number 9, IPR. So listen, IPR is not, sometimes you need it. We've gone over that. Don't be afraid of it. But anytime you do IPR, in your head, you should be thinking, it's even if you're super accurate and you're using the gauges and you're doing your best and you're polishing and you're trying to measure and be perfect, you're probably not going to get it right because there's no digital way to do this. It's very manual. You're going to overshoot it or undershoot it. If you undershoot it, you're still going to have more crowding. If you overshoot it, you're going to have extra spaces, right? Don't beat yourself up. Anytime you have IPR, figure you're going to need a few revisions, refinements. That's my exception to the no revision refinements rule, is when you have IPR. So anytime you have IPR, you should not be doing Invisalign Light, Invisalign Express. You should always do at least moderate or comprehensive or something that has some play. And same thing goes, I don't even like Invisalign Light because you have tons of features you can't use. And even though maybe you don't think you need the features the first time, if you didn't come up with a great treatment plan, you might need them in the revision refinement. And now you just cut your legs off. You can't use certain features. So at least Invisalign Moderate, you have all the features you can use, but you only get one revision refinement. So keep that in mind. Okay, almost done. Last tip is be on the lookout for facial features like strong masseters and low angle jawbones. So there's really square jaws. They're everywhere, square jaws. Brachiocephalic, faces, strong masseters. Testing masseters is a great exam to do on aligner patients. Have them bite down, feel their masseters pop out. Is it 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3 fingers? See the width. If you've ever been to an esthetician who does Botox, they do intraoral Botox all the time. They know lots about masseters. So go in and talk to one of them because that's actually how I connected the dots on all this, to be honest. So intraoral masseter Botox is one of the greatest hacks for Invisalign or aligner. And it's crazy expensive. And you can do it too. You don't have to have some esthetician do it, but they do a great job. And they often get more discounts. But it's a great hack for these low angle cases because one of the most annoying things with aligners is it's an unfortunate outcome that can happen and is often not predictable, is these darn posterior open bites that happen. And I find that these posterior open bites happen more on low angle cases and clenchers. And I'm a clencher, so I know lots about clenching. So clenching, you're not going to see any sign in the teeth. And that's where there's a misconception that, I don't see any sign that they're grinding. No. Clenching is not grinding. Clenching is clenching, like just clamping down. I do it when I'm stressed. I do it when I'm focusing. I do it when I'm sleeping. Sorry, that's just how I am. But I get intraoral Botox to reduce the clenching. So I wake up with less headaches, stuff like that. So for me, it's like a comfort thing, but it's also a facial thing because your face will look slimmer. So we all need that. But in any case, it's huge. Intraoral Botox is huge in Korea, where they have a lot of like square jaws and like they want more feminine features, more slimming. Face slimming is a big deal. Maybe not as a big deal in the US. But anyways, it's fantastic for aligners. So if you're having issues with posterior open bites, look at their facial features, check their masseters, and consider intraoral Botox. So there is a hack though. If you notice on the front end that you think this patient might be at risk for clenching or posterior open bite because of strong masseters, I would use only Invisalign because Invisalign has the Bite Turbo feature, which is a fantastic feature that no one else has figured out yet. Although I heard that some other new companies might have it, but I haven't seen it yet. So for now, I'm going to say only Invisalign has it. ClearCorrect does not have it. White Label does not have it. Maybe it's proprietary. Maybe someone else hasn't figured it out. I don't know. But in any case, it's fantastic. And if you put in Bite Turbos as a preventive, you won't get the posterior open bite. But keep in mind that putting them in also tends to open the bite and you may not want it open. So all kind of things. But I use them on deep bite patients all the time. So what else? If you get a posterior open bite, there's a cool hack for that. Don't stress out. I wouldn't even, for the most part, I know patients are like, I paid for Invisalign, I want to finish Invisalign, but that's the slowest way to fix it. So the fastest way to fix it is an old school hack, which is the positioner. Custom positioners run about $200. You can buy stock positioners. You can stock them in your office. TP Ortho sells them, and big good fans of them. I've seen the cases will fix, and I have a really cool webinar that we did that is at gpwebinar.com if you want to go there. That's where we post all of our awesome historical webinars that have lots of value to them. So go to gpwebinar.com and check it out. And check out, there's all kinds of other cool webinars there too. That's where our IPR webinar is also hosted there. But go check it out and you can see how the positioner will close your posterior open bite. great hack. Anyways, all right, those are my 10 pearls for you today. If you listen to these 10 pearls, your cases will get done quicker, more efficiently, and you will save money on your cases and time, and your patients will be happy, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, all right, any questions, give me a call. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.